Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. Get your phone or tablet out and scan the QR code on your screen right now if you want to learn more about our topic today. I'm here at Tri-City Furniture in Auburn with our friend Kathy Kilborn. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. Happy to be here and happy to learn about some lampshades this morning, Kathy.
Okay.
So we've talked about lamps and bulbs, but what about the shades that lamps have? Are they always made with fabric?
Well, actually, no. Many of them are fabric. This one over here is fabric, and they're lined, so they give really nice. But many of the lampshades today are made out of paper, a hard paper, and that's because of the styling that they're trying to portray. So in a contemporary, you're going to get usually a much harder, it looks like fabric, but it isn't.
And some of the lamps we see, their shades are larger than others. Why is that?
Well, it's because of the size of the base. So in this particular lamp, we have a little smaller base. It's skinny. So look at the shade. It has done exactly the same thing. It's narrow, it's smaller around, and this particular one they've made taller just to kind of accentuate what the base was. So it has to do with what they're putting it with. People ask me, can I switch shades? And I'm like, it never works because the way it hooks onto the base is going to always be different. That's why replacing lampshades for people is really difficult. You might well just buy a whole new lamp than trying to just replace a shade.
So is the base what always determines the size of a lampshade?
Pretty much, but they could want maybe an extra large one because they're having two sockets. So if you can see this lamp back here, I actually have two poles, and on both sides that there's a light bulb in there sitting sideways, so they had to make the shade bigger so that the shade doesn't get too hot. So there are reasons beyond just the bottom shape because of what's going on inside to light that lamp. In this one, because of the smallness, you're going to see that it's a single bulb, and it'll be recommended a lower wattage so that it doesn't overheat the shade.
I mean, we've got a lot of creative designs around us. How is the shape of a lampshade determined?
Generally, it's going to have to do with the base. So on this lamp, you know, it's a little more of a rectangle. They've actually made a rectangle shade. So it complements the base. Now this one's rectangle, but instead of making it squared, they actually ovaled it. So it's a good complement. So it doesn't always follow the base, but most of the time round will go with round, squares will go with squares.
And how important is the shade when you are considering buying a lamp?
Well, it's important in the respect that you need to know what you're doing with it. Are you just lighting up an area? Or are you focus lighting, so you're knitting or you're reading and you need more light specifically? So we call that focus light. So one that's adjustable. Now this lamp is adjustable and it's dimmer, so you can make it brighter, you can make it lower, but it is a great light for focused, whereas these other lamps are typically room light.
Right.
And making sure that you have enough lamps, because when it puts the light out, it's usually about a 3x3 area. So if your room is 12 by 12, you're going to need 4 to 6 lights in your room to really light up the area. One of the problems people tell me is my room is dark, and then when I go to their house and I see it, I'm like, you only have one lamp. Of course it's going to be dark, and we're in that dark season, so we need more lights in our rooms to make sure that we can see well with whatever we're doing.
What about the height of a lamp? We've got a tall lamp right here. Is that important when it comes to deciding
Absolutely.
the shade?
So I got my real trusty ruler, though this one's only 13 inches off, but this one is actually 19 inches off the tabletop. What happens with that height is how much light is going to go out. So on the end table, that lamp is really tall and it goes out really broad. The shade is narrow, so it allows for more light to escape. But when you have them short, they're really going to keep the light close. And so these would be considered accent lights, not room lights. So you might put this on in the evening when you're watching TV, but you're not reading by it because the light is too close in there and the lamp is too short.
What about a lamp that has adjustability? Would that work well?
Again, this would be a really good option. There's some swing arms that puts the light over where you're at, but making sure the height is in the right spot, because if you're shorter and the lamp is tall, that light might come out and glare in your eye. Where adjustable ones, you can move it down, put it on what you're looking at, and you don't have to worry about eye strain.
Right. Good for shorter people like us, right?
Absolutely. Yup.
Well, Kathy, anything else when it comes to lamps or lamp shades that you feel is important to know?
Many lamps today are small scaled, and those are going to be the imports. They're trying to keep the price down. The shades are smaller. The bases are short. Make sure that you know what bulb you're supposed to use in them. When they're a better lamp and a higher quality, you're going to get longer cords. You're going to get higher wattages allowable, but a lot of times the sockets are low quality, and you've got to make sure that you don't put too much power into that, because you may cause a fire. And so always make sure you're using the right bulb.
Oh, some good tips for sure, Kathy. Thank you again for explaining lamp shades and sizes.
problem.
And thank you for watching Design Time.